Welcome back, anime fans, to Ghost in the Cloud, your anime podcast. This week, we're talking Blue Exorcist.
Woo!
My name is John, and with me is my co-host, Bridget.
Hey!
We are very excited to bring this episode, because this is a great anime. It actually just came out with its second season.
Finally.
So we're looking forward to it. But before we dive in, as we do every week, we're going to do some anime news.
So the official website for the television anime adaptation of Satoshi Hase and Red Juice's Beatless novel revealed on Friday that the anime will air on the Animeism programming block. So the anime will premiere on January 12th, and Amazon is exclusively streaming titles from the Animeism block to 200 countries through its Anime Prime video service.
Amazon Prime video service.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
So that sounds awesome. The story follows 17-year-old Arato Endo, who one day has a fateful encounter with Lassia, an ultra-advanced AI that surpasses human intelligence.
I'm always interested in AI animes. I don't necessarily think they do them well all that often, but I am a fan of those type of animes. I like to.
I mean, Ghost in the Cloud.
I'm a fan of sci-fi animes because I hope our world one day gets there.
And then also the official website for Koei Tecmo games, Attack on Titan 2 game was revealed for new playable characters. So the roster of characters will continue to grow, and you can play as Eren, Mikasa, Hange, Ian, and Armin as well, and other favorites for the show. So players will also be able to create a custom scout. So the game's story will cover through the events of the anime's second season. The game will ship in Japan, North America, and Europe in March of next year. So it'd be for PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC via stream. It's nice to see more stuff going into the Nintendo systems. I feel like they always missed out.
Nintendo is hitting home runs left and right with their newest system, and I cannot wait to get one.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would definitely.
So for our last bit of news, Sailor Moon hits the stage in a new performance that will debut at the Japanismes 2018 event in Paris, France. That's how it's spelled. I'm serious. The performance will mix singing, dancing, and video footage. The Japanismes 2018 event celebrates 160 years of diplomatic relations between Japan and France. The large-scale Japanese culture event will take place between July 2018 and February 2019. The Sailor Moon manga has been adapted for the stage before, most recently in a series of musicals that began in 2013 to celebrate the manga's 20th anniversary. I wanted to do this news because of the way the world is kind of right now, especially in America. There's a lot of people hating on people, and this just shows how people from very different cultures can come together and just enjoy one another and accept one another. And I thought this was a really cool little bit of news. So,
and even though that's probably not how the French pronounce the name of their event, I'm pronouncing French words is just, it's beyond me. But it sounds so cool that like a huge anime event is going to be in Paris, France. That just sounds amazing.
All right, on to our anime. Originally a Japanese supernatural action manga series written and illustrated by Kazue Kato in 2009, adapted into an anime television series by A1 Pictures in 2011, with a second season only having just come out this past January. That's a heck of a time difference right there.
I feel like this show was so well received when it first came out, and I don't think I saw it back in 11, but it's definitely been a few years since I've seen it, and I just gave up all hope of a second season. I just thought they would have come out with it by now, and then finally when it came out the second season, everyone's like, wait, what? Really? I was just, that is a long wait.
Yeah.
And you know what? Well worth it. The show is amazing.
Well, I mean, if you think about Sailor Moon, how long was that away? Like, anime.
I feel like that was a revival, though. This is a second season. Picking up where season 1 left off, where Sailor Moon, the new show, is a revival.
I guess that's
of the
fair.
well-loved show.
So season 1 is 25 episodes long, while season 2 is only 12. However, in my opinion, I think season 2 is better.
Okay, that's one opinion.
That's one opinion.
I think they're equal. Amazing.
The story revolves around Rin Okumura, a teenager who discovers he and his twin brother Yukio are the sons of Satan. That's a hell of a bombshell. When Satan kills their guardian, Rin enrolls at True Cross Academy to become an exorcist under Yukio's tutelage in order to defeat his father and control the power he inherited. So, the world of Blue Exorcist. Mm-hmm. It's a world that is very enriched in religion and magic.
Yeah.
which is always an interesting combination. And this world consists of 2 dimensions. The first is the material world where humans live, Asya, and the other is Gehenna, the world of demons, which is ruled by Satan. Normally, travel between these realms is impossible. However, a demon can pass through the dimension of Asya through the possession of a living being, and that's why we have exorcists. So these are people who train to destroy demons. Not a new concept.
Yeah, not mind-blowing.
Over 2,000 years of existence, I'm guessing they're going with like a normal timeline.
Yeah, it seems very modern day.
This group has several branches all over the world, these exorcists, being secretly controlled under the command of the Vatican itself, which is very secretive, very creepy to a degree, and very has its hands in everything, which I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
So season 1, you follow the development of Yukio and Rin. Rin is this brash kid who has just like these anger issues, but he's got a good heart. Like he doesn't dislike people in general, but people tend to pick on him. And he's not someone who just,
the wrong way.
That's true.
With his
he does rub
attitude.
people the wrong way. But he's not someone who necessarily goes looking for trouble. It's like trouble seems to find him.
His natural behavior, his personality it's abrasive, and people just take it the wrong way, and he doesn't mean it in the way he does. But he also has a temper that he can't always control, and he has memories of like as a child throwing a temper tantrum and accidentally injuring another kid or scaring them. So he grows up thinking that, he's different from other people and there's something wrong with him.
And his brother, Yukio, he is the...
poster child.
Yeah, he's essentially the poster child. He is incredibly smart, much like their adopted father, Shiro. Fujimoto Shiro, I should say. He's got this cool look to him. He's got these like glasses. He uses these weapons to destroy these demons. He's like a top-class exorcist for being the same age as Rin, who is kind of like aloof.
He was secretly studying to be an exorcist with the adopted father behind his twin brother's back. He didn't know until he himself pursued it. It's kind of hard to imagine that they're twin brothers. They could not be less alike.
The first season, spoilers I guess for both of the show.
Season 1 has been out for 6 years.
We'll try not to though. So
we'll go light on season 2 because that is new.
There's a variety of characters that both Rin and Yukio meet at True Cross Academy. You have characters like Renzo Shima, Ryuji Suguro, Konakamaru Mina, there's Kamiki Uzumo, and then of course there's Shami.
Yay.
Shami Moriyama. In addition to that, you get some of the people sort of in charge, and that's Mephisto. Now, Mephisto is very interesting because he, in fact, is a demon himself. The Vatican is working with him because he has this sort of love for the material world. He doesn't want to see things damaged, although he's got a sixth sense of humor, and he is playing cards very close to his chest. Like, you can see him manipulating things behind the corner, but he's a fun character.
I think he's kind of arguably one of the more better design characters because you still, to this day, don't really know where his true loyalties lie. And he just sits back and lets things unfold. Like, his background is really interesting, and I just think that he keeps you interested. He remains elusive.
He also is always on the verge of breaking the fourth wall, like talking to the audience to explain what's going on.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of funny.
He's
got like this, he's painted as like almost like a comic relief. However, you can tell he's like incredibly dangerous. So the first season sort of follows like the themes of growing up, attending school, like finding acceptance in your friends and family, what the difference between right and wrong is, religion.
And then Rin getting the big bomb that he's the son of Satan.
Yeah, well, that comes very early. Without really giving you too much spoilers for season 1, when Rin was younger, they had determined that he had these powers that were inherited by Satan.
The blue flames.
Their mom has died. Satan's obviously not allowed in the human world.
Nope, no bueno.
He's taken in by Fujimoto. Fujimoto, along with, I believe, Mephisto at the time.
Yeah, Mephisto.
They seal his power away inside this sword.
An ancient sword.
That's a cool enough concept for me. So early on in season 1, he is forced to protect the people he loves, and he has to unsheath the sword, unleashing the demonic side of him, which was growing steadily more uncontrollable. Yep. Like it was bound to break out eventually.
And they even said, like, if you unsheath this sword, you will not be human. There'll be a part of you that will never be human again. And he had to live with that.
He's trying to keep it secret from the people he goes to school with, like while learning to become an exorcist, because he hates he has grown up hating Satan for all these terrible things.
Yes, and the list grows as the first season goes on, but...
It's mostly sort of a journey on how you're not tied to your birth.
Nature versus nurture.
Exactly.
I would say is a huge theme in this show. So being both of these twin brothers being the sons of Satan, and they're both good people that saves lives, goes to show that, according to this world, nature has very little to do with upbringing, and it's all about nurture, because they were raised by one of the greatest exorcists of all time.
And personally, I think my favorite character, Fujimoto Shiro.
So we've been saying that Fujimoto would be an amazing character to cosplay.
I think I'm going.
It's on his list. Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gotta happen. I mean, look, the outfit is so cool, and he has those glasses with the crosses on them that would make him really distinguished. I feel like it's easy to do and easy for people to pinpoint what you are.
If that ever comes to be, I'll definitely post some pictures. And then they introduce another character who I actually think is more fan service than anything. Shuru Kirakawa, I think is her name, or Kira Gakure. Blah blah.
Shura.
Blah blah.
You can just call her Shura.
Shura. I'm going to call her Shura. She is this female character who dresses very scantily.
She wears clothes?
She works for the Vatican, and
cool.
She's like a top exorcist. They have different classes of
Yeah.
exorcist, and she's up there. She's very strong.
Very distinguished looking.
But like
her hair looks
drawn,
like Starfire. Like
she's drawn, very scantily.
She only wears like this
big
bra top
things.
and like an open blazer, shorty shorts and boots. Like that's it's fan service.
It's very fan service to the character. But
also,
her character itself, she's pretty cool.
The great thing about the show is that they do a great balance of a very serious plot with humor. They keep it lighthearted despite the dark theme, and they even make fun of the tropes that they have in their show. So this girl, Shura, is, obviously she's fan service, but the other characters in the show like give her funny nicknames or her large
and they'll also
breasts,
be like, put some clothes on.
And it's hilarious. So I'm glad that they do make fun of themselves for doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely
because it's ridiculous.
Season 2 sort of follows more of the same. What it is to be human and demon, the trials of friendship, and as Bridget said, nature versus nurture. There are certain people who have compassion towards demons throughout the show, such as Rin's mother.
Yeah, their mother.
Who met Satan, who had possessed a living being. Yeah. And she fell in love with him. You don't know whether it's sort of... I guess... I don't recall if you know whether it's like legitimate love or if it like she was sort of tricked.
Understanding and compassion or trickery.
Yeah. Demons can be very powerful.
They show scenes, flashbacks of when they were first encountering, and Satan was very polite, very well behaved, but they would talk about the differences between their two worlds. And she was also a girl that she would go out in the woods and make friends with the demons there, but they were the lower level demons.
Yeah, not all demons are evil.
Mythical looking creatures. Yeah, they didn't look like anything crazy, but even that was considered like a big no-no in their world. I when it comes to Satan, I would assume he was tricking her.
I do want to talk about some of the other characters because I think the designs, I said a few episodes ago how I felt certain designs of characters seem very generic.
Yeah, that was in Irregular Magic High.
Right, as much as I like that show, and as much as it doesn't make sense.
If you change their really cool-looking outfits and you just put
you could swap them into any
shorts,
anime.
you had no idea.
These characters, however, I think are a great representation of the reverse of that. They all have a distinct style. They all have a distinct look.
They're all really well done. Really well done. Like, Shima dyed his hair pink. Usually they don't explain the crazy hair colors in animes, and you get to see a scene where his parents see him, they're like, did you dye your hair pink? And they're like smacking him on the head. I like how they address these things.
Yeah, it's a fun sort of thing. So Renzo, Riju, and Konokamaru, they are all friends from a village. They suffered a great tragedy from Satan 16 years ago when Rin sort of came into the world. They have this terrible animosity towards
the blue flame.
The blue flame, which is essentially Rin's power. They don't know that Rin is the son of Satan. They do understand that he's different, and towards the end they do get that he is the son of a demon.
Yes.
They don't necessarily
know
he's
the
son of Satan.
Which is not uncommon, they did say later. They said it, it happens. There are people out there that have part demon in them.
And you watch the struggle between these characters, and it's really well portrayed. Then you have characters like Shimi and Kamiki, and Shimi is this... Shammy. She's this... Shammy. She is just this adorable little girl who wants the best for everyone. Like, she's not someone who's, like, she's never had a lot of friends. And
yeah, she's very quiet, but she's
very
so
quiet, but
pure-hearted.
Yeah, she's a pure-hearted.
And
then you have
her love for gardening and her powers, everything about her is very sweet.
Very nature-related.
Yeah.
And then you have Kamiki, who is this kind of hard-ass female character. She's cool though.
Eyebrows.
She has a very distinctive look. Yeah, she has these
Her
strange
nickname
eyebrows.
is Eyebrows.
It's a fun it's a fun show, and even the bad guys are entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, some of them are like conniving while others are just sort of brutes, and like it's very it's fun. Like I think all of these characters are really well designed, and they're so distinctive. Like I would never mix them up with other anime characters.
Yeah, despite the dark themes and there's a lot of violence in the show, they don't show you a lot of grotesque. They keep it more on the cute anime side of animation, and they only show you like very small hints of grotesque or gore. So they're able to show you this violence without making it too much.
You know, and there are certain tropes in anime that if the anime isn't good, it only hurts it. But because this anime, in my opinion, is good, like the tropes of the fan service and sort of just like the superpowers, they're really well done in this show, and they're really cool, like drawn. They're really well portrayed, and I mean, granted, you know, the good guys are always going to essentially win, but there does feel like a sense of dread in this show, and like you kind of worry for some of the other characters, which actually brings me to something I wanted to talk about. So I think a lot of these side characters are more interesting than Rin and Yu-Gi-Oh! Second season dives more into the side characters' sort of backstories and like their really family, which I thought was fantastic. And it doesn't hurt that it's only 12 episodes. I think animes that can manage 12 episodes a season are the way to go, personally.
I mean, they kept it moving. It was the plot of the second season was very well done. It was very well rounded. So even though it was short, there was no downtime.
Yeah, and like you get a lot of backstory on these characters. You get sort of their family dynamic and just some of the things they're struggling with, and it's different for each character, but it's also new and like entertaining. As well. And I as much as I like Rin and Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a really interesting character, Rin kind of seems generic to me.
I think he's just...
I think the side characters I like more.
I think the thing about Rin is that despite the fact that he has this power and the secret, he's very simple. He's a simple person, but that's just his personality. He is just plain and simple good. And that's what the problem is. Everyone sees blue flames, they see his demon tail, but they have to get past his appearance and just see his heart is, without any question, pure and good. He's the kind of person that he always knows just the right thing to say to people to make them feel better, to help them with their own problems. You see, a big theme in season 2 is his friends kind of coping with who he is. The first season was about Rin accepting himself, and then the second season was about everyone around him having to accept that as well. And it was a big obstacle because some of these characters had family, parents, loved ones that died from those blue flames, and now they have to accept that someone, a good friend that they love, is, born of those flames. So, I mean, that's season 2 in a nutshell without giving anything big away, but I really like the suspense with Yukio. They kind of give you like little hints that maybe he could have power and it's dormant. And you kind of hope he does because it's really cool.
I could see where the show's going because Yukio has a lot of anger that he sort of represses. Yeah, you could definitely see that sort of spinning out of control and causing a big conflict towards the end. There's this question of whether humans are right in this show. Or are demons wrong, Yeah. And, like, what... You have to ask, like, what is it that makes you human? Is it the fact that they can love unconditionally? The fact that they self-sacrifice? Because demons seem to be, looking out for number one. You kind of wonder what life would have been like for them if they were raised by the mom. Like, or how Satan would have raised them, you know? And, like, what would have happened? Would they turn out more like Mephisto? Or not? How does humans adapt and interact with demons? Like, what is that?
I think if they were raised by Satan, they would be pure evil. I think they would be a force to be reckoned with, and I think they would be working with Satan to take over the world and
yeah,
humanity.
I guess that's fair.
Because this show is very big on nurture. That they because they were raised by their adopted father, that they were good. Again, if Satan raised them, I'm sure that they would have been terrible people. If they were raised by their mom, I think that they probably wouldn't be exorcists, because exorcists are about exterminating, and the mother was about coexistence. And I think that both sides are wrong. I think that most demons probably should not be exterminated. I think that they deserve a chance to coexist. I mean, Rin has a familiar, which, by the way, I want as a plushie.
Of course you do.
It looks like a cat.
It's a giant cat. Bridget said the magic word. Demon is our word of the week. It can be used as Oni or Akuma, which can also be used for Satan.
Yeah,
we
Akuma
thought that
can be
was
Satan.
very appropriate, considering.
Oni and Akuma, there's a lot of different words for demons, but those seem to be like the big ones. I know this whole episode has been us just like patting the show on the back. We don't have much bad things to say
that's
about
the thing.
it.
Like,
it's such a great show.
I usually can find issues in these animes I watch, and especially with the second season, I feel like it only makes the first season better.
Yeah, because they're just building what you already know. They take these characters that you got attached to in the first season, and you get to learn more about them, about their family, their insecurities, and it just makes you love them even more and feel like you really know them. I think that they did such a great job.
It's a really good job on the second season. Like I said, I think it's better than the first one, but that's because I don't think Rin's particularly a great character. There's my gripe for the episode. He's very typical.
He's kidding,
Come at me, yo.
He's kidding. I like the character. I think that
like the characters.
I don't think he needs any more complexity to him, because it's really about people getting past the fact that he's a demon, and he's a great person. I think that's enough.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and I think his attitude, it just is part of his personality, just adds to the charm.
He's part of the comic relief.
Yeah, he is. He really is. Like, he's always so lighthearted, even in the most dire situations. And his twin brother, who's struggling, he's breaking a sweat, and he's just like, I mean, you definitely understand why he has so much trouble, like, he's living in his shadow, basically. His brother Rin doesn't really put in much effort. It just goes naturally for him. And his brother really works so hard to be where he is. I hope he has powers. He's gonna have powers. He's gotta have some powers.
I don't know what will develop, but I kind of hope he doesn't. I think it'd be better.
Let's do some guesswork on what's gonna happen. So let's do some...
Well, I'm sure that he's gonna have powers, and it's gonna eventually boil over to where he's fighting Rin.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna have some kind
Shammy
of brawl.
saves everybody.
But I think that he, because of all this animosity he has towards his brother, which he comes to terms with, he understands that why he has them, but they're still there. And I think that if he does have powers that unleash, he'll finally be like, now I'm the strong one. I think it'll get to his head, because he didn't grow up with the powers. I think that he might go bad.
Yeah,
not just fight his brother, but like turn to like work with Satan. That kind of thing.
This is coming from two people who have not read the manga. Which
we haven't read the manga.
It has been out for a while. So
if I'm sure there's a lot more in the manga, but I was just guessing.
Or let us know.
I wouldn't mind knowing.
If you're interested in watching season 2 of this show, you can find it on Crunchyroll. You can find it on Hulu and on Netflix.
It's everywhere.
It is out there because it is relatively new, and it was really good. It was really good.
6-year wait for season 2. Get on it, people. Much
for 12 episodes too. I wonder if it just took a while to greenlight.
I think the creators had their hands full with other projects.
I'm sure they did. So for this week, Cosplay Corner, we want you to check out at Rikushia. She cosplays as Rin, and that's at Rekushia. And
Rikushia.
It was actually really good. Trying to find people who aren't cosplayers, but who are people who like to cosplay. You know what I mean? There's a difference there.
Yeah, there's people who make careers out of cosplaying.
And they're amazing.
1 million followers. They literally make a career out of it. But I don't know.
But you know what? We want to highlight the little guy. Because we're the little guys.
We're the everyday people, the everyday heroes. And we want to reward people who, in your busy lives, you take the time, you make an amazing costume, you like to go to the cons, and it just, but yeah, Rakushia did a great job, and I mean, there was a lot of cosplays for this show, because it's very well loved, but I mean, if anyone cosplayed as the cat, that'd be cool too. So, alright, anyway, so don't forget, you can email us at gitcanime@gmail.com, and we're on Facebook and Twitter, and of course, we're on Instagram. And our new episodes will always be on, you can look on Google and you can look on iTunes. And speaking of iTunes.
Yes, rate, review.
Give us a review.
Rate, review.
Yeah.
And what's the third one? Subscribe. That's the one. Rate, review, subscribe. We always want to know how to make the show better, so please let us know. Give us some feedback. Constructive criticism is always welcome.
Yeah, and if you like what you hear and you want to support our podcast, go to patreon.com, and we have a bunch of tiers that you can check out and some pretty cool rewards.
Yeah, and just to let you know, Bridget is an artist, and she is offering as one of those rewards to turn you into an anime character, which she has done for us. You can check out our banner on our websites and stuff, and it's really cool. Yes, Blake is a patron of ours, and Bridget is currently working to make him an anime character, and you could be one too. So
join us on the two-dimensional side.
Yeah, you can get at us, and we would love any feedback. So, thank you to our patrons. Thanks for listening, guys. Thank you to Anthony for our theme song. You can check out his podcast
really
at
catchy.
What's Your Fortune on iTunes. And next week, we are watching Howl's Moving Castle.
And the reason why we're doing Howl's is because it's the weekend before my birthday. Howl's Moving Castle is my favorite movie of all time. I've watched it 1,000 times. I'm still going to watch it again just for
And Studio
fun,
Ghibli. You can't go wrong with Studio Ghibli.
And freaking the voices of the English voices, it's really funny that they're who they are. So Christian Bale, Batman, does Howl. I'm Batman. So it's just the most amazing movie of all time, and everyone has to go watch it so that you can listen to us talk about it.
It's a Studio Ghibli movie, so everyone should watch it.
Absolutely.
So we'll be talking about that in depth next week, and we will catch you then.
Bye.
All right, thanks guys. Bye.
Yep.